Hello, believers, non-believers, and everyone in between. You're listening to Stories with Sapphire. I am Sapphire Sandalo. Now get cozy and open your mind because it's story time.
Hey everyone! Whew, I am so flustered. I'm a little bit late because I was I don't know, something set me off on a weird existential journey, and I had to Google some stuff. But here I am. Welcome your local simp, Lalish, Stephanie, Mikey C, Maddie the musical, Ruby, Mariah Bacon, Greenleaf, Ghost Prince, Saf, Nidal, Mustafa. Welcome. This is Stories of Sapphire Live. This is the live stream I do every Wednesday at 5. What time is it? 5:30 Pacific. I haven't eaten in a while, so I might fade. I need to stop doing that. I go hours before eating. I go hours without eating before I go live, and I'm like, why? Why do I punish myself so? If this is your first time here, I'm so sorry. I would say it's usually not like this, but I think it actually is always like this. So this is where I read your emails and your stories that may not make it into an official episode, but I still want to read them. And I still want to say hi, and then we chat. It's a little more loosey-goosey than regular episodes, so bear with me. And at the very end of the stream, I pull a card from one of my decks and give a collective reading to everyone. And the one I'm currently obsessed with is the Wild Unknown, the Animal Spirit deck. It's my current fave. It's a good one. So I have a question while we wait for people to trickle in. For all of my Filipino viewers, specifically Visayan or Cebuano, do you consider Visayans and Cebuanos indigenous to the Philippines? And I have a feeling I know what that answer is from Filipinos in the Philippines, but this is just something that I had been thinking about because of something, and now I'm going on this journey. I'm wait, are what? Anyways, so I hope someone has an answer for me. So oh man, I really need to stop not eating before these. Here we go. First story comes from Sparrow. It's called It Lurked in Darkness. Hello, At the Sapphire. My name is Sparrow. He/they. This short, scary story is about our protagonist, Ray, who finds himself in a dark room, but he isn't alone. No one knows what or who this creature is. Once it gets you in its clutches, you become part of its collection. I wrote this for my creative skills development class. All right, cool. When Ray had awoken, he found himself in a damp, bleak, and suffocating room. A dim, blinking light was the only thing that illuminated the room. Taking in a deep breath and exhaling, Ray covered a hand over his nose, gagging. The smell of decay, blood, and mildew invaded his nostrils. Where was he? Ray squinted, letting his eyes adjust to the room. The dim light barely lit up anything, making it hard for him to make out what he was surrounded by. From his place on the floor, he felt around, feeling the smooth texture of wood with some parts where the boards were missing. His hand bumped into something. Looking down, Ray held in the urge to scream as he bit onto his bottom lip. What he was looking at was a human skull. Now that his attention was on the floor, Ray could see more than just the skull. Many more bones were littered around where he sat. Old reddish-brown stains were on the walls and under the piles of bones. Then, out of the corner of his eye, he saw something move in the center of the room. A sudden chill ran down his spine. Standing there was a figure, rocking back and forth in place. How long had he been there, and why hadn't they said anything? Ray went to open his mouth to speak, but something told him not to. Ray pulled himself to his feet, keeping an eye on the figure. As he used the wall to guide himself over to what he believed was a door, his foot accidentally kicked one of the many bones in the living room, making the figure turn its attention on him. It turned its head to the side, listening and sniffing the air. Could the figure not see Ray? Exhaling a sigh of relief, he waited, not wanting to draw it closer to him. Ray moved closer to the door. His hand could almost reach the handle when he heard shuffling coming closer towards him. He froze in place, turning his head to where the source of the noise was coming from. The figure from before, now just a stone's throw closer. Why? He thought that he was not able to see him. He was now able to see more of the figure's features. Its skin is ashy and sunken, clinging to bone, limbs twisted and bent into odd angles. It dragged its feet across the broken wooden floor, lifting its head to look at Ray with eyeless sockets. Its mouth opened and closed, exposing a full mouth of tiny, razor-sharp teeth. A panic arose in his chest as this creature was now arm's length in front of him. The creature tilted its head to the side, listening. It knew exactly where Ray was. He took a step backwards, causing the creature to jerk its head in his direction. Its eyeless sockets locked on Ray as it advanced towards him. He scrambled backwards, tripping over one of the many piles of bones in the room. It pinned Ray down, wasting no time in sinking tiny razor-sharp teeth into fresh meat. It bit and tore into flesh and bone. It gulped down his blood with a smile on its face. Ray's vision blurred as he closed his eyes. He would become nothing but a pile of bones. Another mere collection of this creature that lurked in the darkness. Ooh, that was a fun one. Thank you, Sparrow. Let me mark this as red. Cool. If you want any notes, that's pretty cool. I liked it. The only thing that was tripping me up was there's certain, and this is the most nitpicky thing ever, and this is something I always pay attention to when I'm editing people's stories, is to try reading the story out loud to yourself, because you will catch it. And that's the only reason I catch these things, is because I'm reading it out loud. Is sometimes two sentences in a row will share a lot of the same words, and then it sounds repetitive. So find a new way to say the same thing. You know what I mean? I think there's also two sentences that both ended in the word room. Just little things like that. But that's such a weird nitpicky thing. But I wanted to share it because sometimes people my notes. There was a question in here that I was going to respond to. Oh, Audrey. Certain parts, I think, because most of the areas in Visayas and Cebu are already urbanized. But does being urbanized equal not being indigenous? I'm talking because you know how indigenous Native Americans, they're not, they're living in modern homes, but they consider themselves indigenous. So do Cebuanos and Visayans in Cebu and in the Visayans consider themselves indigenous even if they're in urbanized areas? You know what I'm saying? That's my question. What makes... Sorry, I did not finish that sentence. There was another... Wait, I'm going to see if someone else responded to my question. No? Oh, while we're waiting for me to look through this, there's an animated video that came out today. It's the Nale boss story. I hope you like it. kind of sounds like the creature from A Quiet Place. Yeah. Pumpkin Midnight. What's your favorite horror movie? It's well, I have like multiple. One of my favorites is 13 Ghosts, and not because it's a good movie, because I just love the vibes. Like if I ever had the opportunity to remake a horror movie, I would redo 13 Ghosts and fix all the issues I have with it. But 13 Ghosts slaps. It's streaming on HBO Max. It has like cool lore, cool set design, a cool story. It's a little, campy acting because it's like 2003, I think. But the creature designs slap. It's a good time. Tony Shalhoub is in it, like F. Murray Abraham. Like, why? Okay, I think that's all. All right, you want another story? This one. Oh, Pumpkin Midnight. And what if you were invited into a horror movie? How would you react if I was invited into one? If I was in a horror movie, I would hide the whole time. I'm not a fighter. When it comes to like fight, flight, or freeze, I'm freeze. Like 100% freeze. It's just like, don't look at me. Tristan Hammer, Sapphire, if you had to live in a horror universe, what would you pick? 13 Ghosts. Because in the 13 Ghosts lore, there's these glasses that you can wear and then you like see the ghosts. And then also like if you put like, there's like inscriptions on the wall and it like houses the ghosts. And there's just like a cool freaking house in the movie. Just like, you don't even need to watch the full movie. Just like look at the behind the scenes of the production design of 13 Ghosts. All right, here's our next story. This is called Funland, based on a true story. It comes from Xandro in the Philippines. Hi, at the Sapphire. I'm from the Philippines and I was and still am a fan of yours since Snarled. I hope you like this story. Funland, based on a true story. One time, my family and I went to our local theme park. Let's just call it Funland. Funland was a joyful land for families and had an annoying, jolly theme song. The song was so annoying, my brother said. Yeah, it is, I replied. Hey, you want to go on the new ride? My brother asked. There was a new ride in the park called the Spooky Place. Even though the name was basic, it looked fun. Of course, I said yes. We arrived at the ride and we saw a huge line. Whoa, this is long. Luckily, we have an express line ticket, my brother said. We lined up in the express line for a few minutes. Hey, it's our turn, Dumbo, my brother said. He liked to call me some dumb names. I changed my mind. I don't want to go, I said. What a scaredy cat, my brother said while I walked out of the line. See you later. I'm going to get some ice cream, I screamed. The ice cream shop was not far away, so I just walked with my mom and dad. I bought the ice cream when we heard some screaming and commotion. I just shrugged it off for some time. My mom and dad turned around and stood there, frozen. Mom? Dad, are you okay? I was curious, so I turned around. I stood there, frozen and shocked. What I saw will haunt me. The Spooky Place, engulfed in flames, as the annoying, jolly theme song played. Among the burned, my brother. That's fun. It's giving Final Destination a little bit. Oh, that's one of my favorite franchises, but I don't know if that's a universe I would want to live in, because I already do feel like I live in the Final Destination universe in that I am constantly worrying when death is coming for me. So, no. Adam, thank you for the super chat. We need an animated story about an annoying patron who always asks for a story about the Bell Witch and dies. Oh my god. Adam! I'm sorry. I'll look into it. Sorry. Oh, whoops. Uh-oh. Okay. Did I mark that as... How are we? 550? All right, we've got one more. This one is called Hat Man. Hi, Sapphire. My name is Kaylin, or Kat, and I love your spooky stories. Just had to share mine. Okay, so first things first, I have many animals, 2 cats, and a dog. And a preface, before this, I never knew who the Hat Man was before seeing him, or rather, it, for myself. I was showed a documentary after, and I was like, oh my god, that's who it was. I'm also not really a believer, but after this, it left me baffled and really freaked out. So, I was home alone. My dad and sister were out at an opera, and my mom and other sister were living in another city at the time. My dad had ordered me pizza, and I was chilling, watching a horror movie. I had gone out to grab a drink and noticed my hallway light flickering, which was strange since it was a touch light, and I wasn't touching it. So I went to turn it all the way on, and once I started to walk a little bit away from it, it turned off and then flickered again at halfway. And then my porch light, which is motion censored, turned on. So of course I'm freaked out, but went back to my room. A little while after, my dog started barking at the front door. I went to look out the peephole, and of course no one was there. I even opened the door to make sure, and still no one. And at this point, my cats are running wild, all freaked out. So I'm starting to get increasingly more anxious. The dog finally stopped barking after a couple of minutes, but it was so strange. But I ended up forgetting about it and continued with my nightly routine. A little while after, I go out to take the trash by the side of my house where the motion sensors were. And as I was closing it and throwing it out, I saw it. It was tall and somehow activated all the motion sensors. It was like a shadow, and it had a long top hat, and it was just staring. Honestly, kind of put me in a trance for a couple moments. So me, being with the horror movie knowledge, I bolted inside and locked the doors and hid under my covers. Nothing else happened as I knocked out, hiding with my animals. But here's the freaky part. When I woke up, my dad asked if I had anyone over. Of course, I said no, because I truly didn't. And he was like, then why are there footprints outside your window? But who was footprints? Ooh, spooky. I like that one. Thank you, Kat. Live stream red. All right, cool. Thank you, everyone. Adam, I was 100% making a joke. Funny, not sad. You say you joke. You say. Okay. It's time for our collective animal reading. All right. So I need everyone to take a deep breath, center themselves. Let's see what message we have for the rest of the week. Okay. Thanks. I need to get better at shuffling. All right, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Ready? Unicorn! Look how pretty it is. Aw. All right. I haven't gotten the unicorn before, so I'm excited to read it. Unicorn in the sky. That's not the words. I can go twice as high. In a look, it's in a book. What are the words? Reading rainbow. All right, unicorn, reconnecting to higher wisdom or divinity. It's difficult to see, hear, or think of a unicorn without immediately questioning if it's real. Did they ever exist? Perhaps long, long ago? The mind answers, maybe, or it could be, or no way. This very contemplation explains our relationship with divinity and encapsulates our wavering belief in the unicorn. We wonder what divinity is. We wonder where our intuition comes from and if we can really trust it. We think about a higher power and our mind hesitates between yes, no, and maybe. Is it male or female? Does it have a name? Is it just a feeling? The unicorn card appears and wakes us up to curiosity about the higher self and the divine. It is a card of questioning, exploring, and contemplating the inexplicable. The mind's eye knows there is something beyond our day-to-day lives, a deeper dimension to our experiences. The mind's eye reaches and reaches and reaches out to grasp something more. You are the unicorn, and you have begun your quest for the answers. The unicorn and the sixth chakra. It's no surprise the subtle essence of the unicorn card resides at the third eye, the exact place from which the unicorn's horn extends. This center is called the Ajna chakra, or command center. The ancient yogis believed it to be responsible for our intellect, intuition, and deepest wisdom. Some say our two eyes see the past and present, while this third eye peers into the future. All right, everyone. That is your message for this week. You're a unicorn. Embrace the unicorn. That's all. I like that one. I like unicorn. Oh, it's a butterfly in the sky. Unicorn in the sky. I like my version. I can go twice as high. Read a book. Take a look. It's in a book. Right? Reading rainbow. How many people in the chat actually know that? Highly recommend. This is such a cool deck. All right, everyone. Thanks for hanging out with me. I hope you have a good day. Go watch Naliba, the new animated video if you haven't seen it yet. And I'll see you next week.